Toughen up. That flag makes me uncomfortable. There was a time when America prided itself on resilience. People worked hard, spoke their minds, and didn't need a trigger warning before hearing an opinion. Kids played outside until the streetlights came on, and if you fell off your bike, you brushed it off and kept riding. Today, a scraped knee requires a congressional hearing, and someone somewhere is probably offended that bikes exist at all. Back in the day, TV stations signed off at midnight with the national anthem. Now, certain networks would rather apologize for even showing the flag. If you went to a baseball game in the 80s, you saw families eating hot dogs and cheering for their team. Today, half the crowd is scrolling through their phones while debating whether the mascot's name is offensive. In school, teachers once taught history, good, bad, and everything in between. Students learned about George Washington crossing the Delaware, not whether his pronouns were correctly assumed. Detention was for talking back to the teacher, not for questioning why math suddenly needs to be less oppressive. In the workplace, employees used to be judged by their work ethic. You worked hard, you got ahead. Now, companies have entire departments dedicated to making sure no one's feelings are hurt by the wrong coffee mug in the break room. Air travel used to be an exciting adventure. You dressed up, enjoyed a meal, and maybe even chatted with the person next to you. Now, there's a 30-minute pre-flight announcement explaining which words might be considered microaggressions, and if a baby cries too loudly, someone starts a petition. Stand-up comedy was once an art form built on saying the things people were too afraid to say out loud. Richard Pryor, George Carlin, and Eddie Murphy made people laugh at life's absurdities. Today, comedians have to issue an apology before the show even starts, just in case. The thing is, America wasn't built on safe spaces. It was built on grit, courage, and the ability to hear something you don't like and keep moving. If the pioneers who crossed the country in covered wagons saw us today debating whether clapping is too aggressive, they'd probably turn the wagon around. So where do we go from here? Simple. We remember who we are. We laugh at the absurdity, call it out when necessary, and stop tiptoeing around reality. Because America isn't supposed to be the home of the easily offended, it's the home of the brave. And if that bothers someone, well, they'll survive. Or at least, they would have in 1984.